Here we go in Nevada. It's being reported now that the Nevada State Democratic Party has just hired a former Pete Buttigieg campaign staffer as its, get this, new voter protection director. Now, that would, of course, be incredibly laughable if it wasn't so brazen, considering how Pete Buttigieg has been linked to the app that basically malfunctioned and messed up a lot of the results in Iowa. And so you had, of course, people that were in the Clinton campaign, Obama campaign, that were working for the company called Shadow. Shadow was a company that developed the app. You had a Pete Buttigieg donor, Seth Klarman, that had funded the company as well. So that's probably, of course, people getting sweetheart deals inside the party apparatus. And it was a complete and utter disaster. And I've showed you all the different news pertaining to that. And so now, for a Buttigieg staffer to go in Nevada, who, by the way, was planning to use the Shadow app, now no longer using it, to have a Buttigieg staffer go in there and be the voter protection director, disastrous. What are you doing? By the way, we have less than 2 weeks from the Nevada caucus, and it's just been about a week since the Iowa caucus. And they're doing this. Now, the Buttigieg staffer is a woman by the name of Emily Goldman. And this was discovered basically on social media. Here you have journalist Samuel Finkelstein saying the Nevada Democratic Party just hired a paid Buttigieg organizer to be their voter protection director. And so, to me, look, it seems like, not to get too conspiratorial, but it feels like this is on purpose, right? I don't know. Do you really expect a fair process headed up by a former Buttigieg campaign official or any campaign official? It seems like, I don't know, like a conflict of interest. So I don't believe so, and I'm not the only one. Among concerns about a disaster like the one in Iowa, some Nevadans are also worried about this hire and what it means for impartiality in the voting results. So it's not just about Bernie Sanders, it's also about, for example, Elizabeth Warren, right, getting a fair shake, or Joe Biden getting a fair shake, or Andrew Yang getting a fair shake. Basically, it seems like everyone, will not get a fair shake here, other than Pete Buttigieg. Like, it seems like it's too much of an advantage towards Pete. And so that, again, that's an issue, right? So now people on Twitter express some disapproval of this choice. Suzuki says, this is one example. You need to fire Emily Goldman. She was a Pete organizer. This is a clear conflict of interest. And so now when this got out, she had locked her Twitter account and had scrubbed her employment history from LinkedIn, showing that she, of course, had worked for Pete Buttigieg and had also expressed pro Buttigieg, obviously, social media posts. And so lock it down, scrub everything, and so that nobody knows what I'm about. That's super curious. Now, the state party is saying, oh, no, there's no problem with this. We have many former campaign staffers and volunteers working to protect the integrity of their caucus, including people from Harris, Sanders, and Warren's campaign. It is not unusual or uncommon for this to happen. Well, maybe it shouldn't be a common practice, for impartiality. Look, I actually care about the integrity of our elections. I don't want anybody, I don't want a Sanders person in that position either. No, I want people who are clearly impartial, who will not try to sway anything one way or the other, because it could hurt basically everyone. And what it really hurts is our faith in the process. Now, Sanders campaign manager Faz Shakir released a statement. He said, look, we've spoken with the Nevada Party, which has assured us that this individual does not have decision-making authority over the caucus count. Please know we're working hard with the party to get every assurance that mistakes of Iowa are not repeated. Look, I trust the Sanders campaign. I trust Faz Shakir. when he says, "Look, we're working with them. We're going to make sure." Well, like just like in Iowa, you had chairs and precinct captains who were making sure to take pictures on their vote counts and to provide, you know, the reality of the counts in their area, just in case they were miscounted. But again, we saw what happened in Iowa. Pete Buttigieg still got awarded more delegates, and still, thanks to corporate media, they still spread tales of his victory, which gave him a bump in New Hampshire. And so we don't. Again, it's really difficult to trust the process. But see, that's the thing. That's going to be the biggest impact on this. I don't think the votes will be as impacted by this decision. However, I'm afraid that this will depress turnout. And that's actually way worse than rigging the primary, right? Rigging the caucus process. I mean, if you get people to think that it's rigged, are you really going to show up? And that's the problem. When people see this potential conflict of interest, they tune out. They don't bother. Not good. I'm telling you, though, that's the wrong take. If your take is, well, it's rigged, so why even bother? Why show up? No, that's the wrong take. No, the right take is to show up in such overwhelming numbers that you offset any potential for vote rigging. Any potential. And so even if they want to try it, there will be such a turnout on the Sanders side, or whatever side you believe in, right, that it offsets anyone trying to make the votes appear that they're you know, that somebody else had won that clearly didn't. And so that's what we have to do. There needs to be no doubt, such a large turnout that there's no doubt as to who actually won. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.